Good morning, students. Students, once again, I am here to discuss some important questions from the chapter Tissue. So, I am here with a self evaluation test paper. Now, we are going to analyze ourselves. Right now, I am answering the questions, and I hope so you will write their correct answer in your notebook. So, student, the first question having 1 mark. Give one example of apical meristem and lateral meristem. So student, I want to tell you that growing root tip or shoot tip are the examples of apical meristem, while lateral meristems examples are cork cambium or vascular cambium. So growing root tip or shoot tip is the example of apical meristem, and cork cambium, cork cambium, and vascular cambium, vascular cambium are the example of lateral meristem. Now question number 2. Which chemical is deposited on the cell wall of the sclerenchyma? Very simple question. It's lignin, Lignin. So lignin is the chemical which is deposited or which makes the cell wall of sclerenchyma very thick. Now third question, it's of 2 marks. Where is apical meristem found? As I told you that apical meristem can occur either in the root tip of the plant or shoot tip of the plant, and it is responsible for longitudinal growth of the plant. Okay. Now question number 4. What is the function of ciliated epithelium? It's very important type of epithelial tissue. Okay. Ciliated epithelial tissue may be either columnar ciliated or cuboidal ciliated. Means the upper surface of the epithelial tissue is having some fine hair-like structures which are called as cilia. These cilia help in the movement of various materials across the epithelial barriers. Means sometimes it helps in the movement of the mucus, and if I am talking about the human female reproductive tract, since ovum is immotile, when it is released from the ovary, the ovum is moving into the fallopian tube of the human female reproductive system. Then it moves with the help of these cilia. So it means the cilia or ciliated epithelial tissue helps in the movement of the mucus as well as the ovum in the human female reproductive tract. Now there is one more question for 2 marks. Question number 5. What is goblet cell? Students, I want to tell you that goblet cell is a kind of glandular epithelial tissue. Goblet cell is a kind of epithelial tissue and which is glandular epithelial tissue. And one more specific feature I am telling you, these glandular epithelial tissues are unicellular, means a single cell is going to fold and forming some gland like structures, and it is basically present in our alimentary canal and helps in the secretion of the various things inside our alimentary canal. Now the next question is, we have to give definitions. We have to give definition of tendon, ligament and cartilage. Now students, I want to tell you that initially I want to discuss about tendons. I want to tell you that tendons are basically a kind of connective tissue, and this connective tissue is called as dense regular connective tissue. Now I am going to tell you about the feature of the tendon. Tendon is basically a strong and inelastic connective tissue, and it joins skeletal muscles to the bones, means it joins muscles to the bones. And the another feature is it is very strong and inelastic connective tissue, and it is basically made up of white fibers. White fibrous tissues are composing this tissue, while the ligament is also another kind of dense regular connective tissue, but these are elastic, okay, and made up of yellow collagen fiber. As tendons were made up of white fibrous tissues or white fibers, while the ligaments are made up of yellow collagen fibers, and these join bone to bone, as tendons are joining muscles to bone while the ligaments are joining bone to bone. Now the next is cartilage. I want to tell you that cartilage is a kind of skeletal tissue, okay, whose matrix is semi solid, or we can say that it's solid, but it lacks calcium deposition, and it provides flexibility to the various body parts, and the cells which are composing this tissue are called as chondrocytes. The cells which are composing this kind of tissue are called as chondrocytes. Okay, and this cartilage is present in the trachea, larynx, nose, ear, etc., etc. Now the next question is distinguish between xylem and phloem. So here we are going to discuss three differences. Now xylem is a kind of vascular tissue or permanent complex permanent tissue which transports water and minerals from root to leaves. First, while the phloem transports prepared food from leaves to different parts. It means the direction of the flow in the xylem is unidirectional, while through phloem it is multidirectional flow. Second, xylem is made up of four components, and these components are xylem fibers, xylem parenchyma, tracheids and vessels, while phloem is made up of four different types of components. What are these? Uh, First one is sieve tubes, the second ones are called companion cells, third one is xylem phloem fibers, and the last one is phloem parenchyma. Last difference, in xylem there are three dead elements. In xylem there are three dead elements, while in phloem only one is dead element, while the rest one three are living elements. So the xylem parenchyma is only the living element, while tracheids, vessel and fibers are dead elements. But in case of the phloem, sieve tube is living, companion cell is living, phloem parenchyma is living, only the phloem fiber is dead element. Now the question number 9. Explain the structure of neuron with the help of a label diagram. So beta, you have to draw a diagram and you have to explain three parts of the nervous tissue. A long cellular part which contains cytoplasm and undefined nucleus, prominent nucleus, which is called cyton or cell body, and you will show that some fine hair like projections are going to arise from it, which are called dendrons, and their function is to receive nerve impulses, while the long extended part of the cyton is called as axon. Okay, sometimes it is covered with a sheath which is called myelin sheath, and it terminates into nerve endings from where the nerve impulses passes to the next neuron. Now the last question, diagrammatically show the differences between three types of muscle fiber. So I want to tell you that you have to draw the diagrams, and with the help of the diagrams you have to explain that there are three types of muscles: skeletal muscles, smooth muscle, and last ones are called cardiac muscle. So firstly you can say that the skeletal or striated muscles are present in bundles, while the smooth muscles are present in sheets, and the cardiac muscles are arranged in a network like structure. Second thing which you can show that the striated muscles have dark and light bands, while smooth muscles do not have dark and light bands, while cardiac muscles have some striations or some bands in a fixed pattern. Third thing which you can show that uh, the striated muscles are cylindrical in shape, while the smooth muscles are spindle shape, and cardiac muscles are branched, or they have branch type of structure. Now last, I want to tell you that the striated muscles are multinucleated, while the smooth muscles are uninucleated, means they are having only one nucleus, and the last one, cardiac muscles, are also uninucleated. So only the striated muscles are multinucleated, and rest two are called as uninucleated. The first one is multinucleated and rest two are uninucleated. So I am concluding myself here. Now practice this evolution test paper, and if still you are feeling any difficulty you can ask me. Thank you. Bye bye.